Hi there, how's it going, everyone? It's a quick stock market update for Thursday, October 7th, 2021. It's going to be a busy day today, so I figured I'd get this out of the way early. We have few interesting things happening in the stock market today, sort of outlooking over the next few weeks and months. In that, I do think that the government is going to reach some type of debt ceiling raising type agreement that will be more substantial, even though they've kind of announced a temporary one, sort of. So what that has caused is everyone that was on the fence and worried that everything was going to go way down and that the Republicans were going to somehow hold and not raise the debt ceiling and default on everything for some reason. Once we realized that that's really probably not going to happen, so a lot of money came back into the market and people got a little calmer that you're not going to see that type of major destabilizing financial event. So you have some things all recovering over the last few days, really, and today especially, some things that are really making a lot of sense. Now, the reason why I decided to do the video right now is, so you've got a funny thing happening where Moderna takes an enormous hit. They take an enormous hit over the last couple weeks, right? Like, look at Moderna over the last 2 weeks. They were at 450-ish at one point, just like a couple weeks ago. Now they're all the way down to like 314. Look at that, right? Now, that can be explained for a few reasons, and the only reason which I'm going to really address of any concern that I thought about briefly yesterday was when I heard that Denmark had paused testing use of the Moderna vaccine for children I can't remember under what year. It might have been under 11. And that gave me a little bit of pause because I thought, well, why would a country like that do that? And then I remembered that when you're doing tests on vaccines on children, even a 99.99% success rate still may result in a fatality of a child. You are priming the immune system. The MRNA technology that they use to do these vaccines is pioneering stuff. It's fantastic. It's going to lead to us vaccinating all types of viruses and diseases that we never thought even possible to vaccinate against in the near future, in my opinion, within 5 years. I think within 5 years you get an HIV vaccine, a herpes simplex vaccine, all that stuff. Everybody just gets it. And it will work because for almost everybody. Now, when you're doing tests on children, sometimes you're going to have things go wrong for other reasons, sometimes not directly traceable to the vaccine, but it can happen. And when that does happen, you start to question, well, why are we testing these on children if most children aren't dying from the virus? And then there starts to be a comparison between how many kids are dying from coronavirus versus how many kids are dying from vaccine testing. And then you start to see the numbers are so skewed in, it becomes imperative to vaccinate everyone because so many more are dying of the virus. So there's this push and pull back and forth, and that's why you see a company like Denmark pausing a trial on children, because they probably had an adverse consequence and wanted to rethink it. That is perfectly acceptable for everybody to do. And one thing I can tell you about the long-term answer to that is that things are going to be going up, and we're going to be using them. So that was the only reason that I saw the stock dip an extra $15 from 315 down to 300 on, I think it was yesterday, right? On Wednesday, I believe. Now, money coming back in the system, now people realizing that we just are realizing that vaccines are the answer here. And that is going to shoot back and snap back with such force because now there's all this extra money in the system coming back in because they're not concerned about the debt ceiling problem, most likely. And so you see Moderna in the short term go to like here, which is probably about, what is that, about 400 maybe? And then blasting off over 450 to 500 because we got to vaccinate the entire world. So when you see an opportunity like this pop up for a lot of problems that were bringing Moderna down in the short term, and BioNTech, which is why you can see BioNTech also going up really, really strongly today, because they do similar technology and the demand for their product is also going to be there. That it's such a great time to buy a long call option that I'm supposed to meet someone today and start to train them on stock options. I just run around the country teaching people how to trade stock options. That's what I do at this point. So I'm going to tell her to purchase a Moderna long call option and explain to you how you can put a very small amount of investment and watch this thing for like the rest of the month of October. Like there are options that expire, I believe, October 29th. An October 29th strike price, a long call option of Moderna at, I would say, 400 is going to be a pretty good number, because they're going to go past that before then. Probably really soon before then, probably next week. And then as they go over 400, every dollar they go over 400, it's worth $100 in intrinsic option value. And the $400 option that I'm talking about purchasing is probably in the neighborhood of only like a few $100. So we'll figure it out. I'll let you know, and that'll be the update for tomorrow.